What's up, family? Excuse me. It is part 2 of this marriage secret series. And I'm talking about things, the truth about marriage that folk don't tell you. This is part 2. It is crazy to me how many people get married without having any idea of what marriage will be like, right? You may think that marriage is going to be like it is in the movies or like it is in your fantasy. But I'm here to tell you the truth about marriage that no one tells you about. Now, but before I give you these next 5 things, I want to address something that I didn't address in part 1, right? So you may be wondering why I spoke more on the negative side of marriage than the positive side. Why am I highlighting the work of marriage as opposed to the joy and benefits of marriage? Well, it's because you don't need any help imagining how good marriage will or can be. And to be honest, the unrealistic beliefs about how marriage will be is the reason that most people are not ready for marriage like they think they are. It's the fantasy in your head that I want to confront. But not only that, I'm talking about the potholes of marriage. Why? Because it's not the good things that make marriage go sideways. Yes, we do need to learn the good things. We need to learn how to do them. We need to learn what they are. But sometimes we first need to learn how to stop doing the bad things. All right. If I use a basketball analogy, I can spend months working on your jump shot so you can score more points. But if I don't teach you how to play defense, y'all going to lose. Right? You'll score more points, but your team is still going to be in the losing bracket. Sadly, a lot of married folk are okay with the team losing as long as they score 60 points. If me looking good doesn't make us look good, then I don't want it. Better yet, if me feeling good doesn't translate into us being good, then I am a liability to the team. Okay, so let's get into these next 5 things that I want to tell you that folk don't tell you about marriage before you get married. And even if you are married, some folks still don't know. Here's the first one. Worse is coming. I've been watching Game of Thrones. So you know how they was always saying, hey, winter is coming. And they're telling you to get prepared. Well, I'm telling you, worse is coming. Without question, worse is coming. Most people spend more time planning their wedding than they do planning their marriage. Right? They mistakenly believe that because they love each other, then because they love each other, then they are automatically going to have more good days than bad days. That's not true. That's not true at all. The reason why the vows say for better or for worse is because worse is coming, without exception. And the thing is, you showed up prepared for better, but you probably was not prepared for worse. After the wedding day, people forget the vow that they made. So when worse shows up, they're ready to quit instead of staying the way they vowed to, right? So my strong advice for you is to prepare for worse. Okay? Even if you're already married, you still can get prepared for worse, because here's what I can guarantee: it's coming back around. If worse is at your house now, it's kind of hard to learn how to prepare for worse while worse is there. But once you get past this, prepare for worse, because it's coming again. Here's number 2. Common sense is not common. Yeah. Now, you may already understand that common sense isn't common when it comes to the world in general. But I'm here to tell you that in marriage, there will be things that you automatically assume your spouse knows because you know it and it's common sense to you, but they don't know it, right? It may be common sense to you that your wife would get your clothes from the cleaners because the cleaners is right next door to her job. It may be common sense to you that you need a hug when you're crying. It may be common sense to you not to read someone else's diary. As a matter of fact, the fact that you just said, wait, who does that, is proof that you believe your partner should think like you. You believe they should believe what you believe and know what you know. You are going to hurt yourself. Common sense is not common. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave that there. Here's number 3. Oh, y'all not gonna like this one. The first 3 years of marriage is basic training. The first 3 years of marriage, basic training. Now, I know some of you have been married longer than 3 years, okay, and you're still struggling. But that's probably because you didn't understand the purpose of pain when you were going through it. And so you allowed the pain to make you more bitter make you a bitter person than a blessed person. But the reason that I say the first 3 years of basic training is because you got these 2 different people trying to merge these 2 different lives, right? And these lives were designed in 2 different worlds. So the first 3 years, at least, will be rocky. Yeah, you just need to understand that the rockiness is there to prepare you for the future, not to prove that that your spouse doesn't love you like you thought they did. Okay? Number 4, there will be problems in marriage that are not solvable. Meaning, there's literally no resolution to it. Now, this one was hard for me. This is hard for me to accept, especially as a believer, right? But what I realized is there's a difference between me and my wife there are differences that we have, basic differences that causes us to simply not agree on some things. That doesn't mean you have a bad marriage, right? The biggest point I want to make here is I want to get you to do this. Don't trick yourself into thinking that you guys have to agree on everything in order to have a healthy marriage. For this reason, you need to keep the respect level high. Why? Because you'll need to respect the differences between you. So if the respect level is too low, at a certain level, when your differences show up, you're going to think your differences are superior. You're going to think they're wrong when they're not wrong. They're just different. And you're going to find yourself walking in pride. And what is pride? It's at the root of 100%. Every single one. 100% of divorces. Yeah. Here's number 5. Your spouse is not responsible for your happiness. Now, you may say, well, duh, I know that. Yeah. But the way you act in your marriage, it's giving you not making me happy vibes, right? If you are looking for happiness, I promise you marriage is the wrong place to look. Truth is, you were supposed to bring your happy with you because happiness is an individual reality, right? Your partner was not raised to love you. That automatically disqualifies them from being able to love you the way you always desired and for them to make you happy, right? Your happiness is based on what's going on in your mind, and you are the one that's in control of your mind. I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. The whole reason I'm doing this series is because I want you to get a divorce. Yeah, some of y'all been married too long. I want you to get a divorce. But not from your partner. Not from your partner. I want you to get a divorce from your fantasy. In other words, divorce the fantasy in your head so that you can more deeply and authentically love the stranger in your bed. Another way I like to say it is you have to divorce your idea. You came to the marriage with your idea. You had an idea of what a husband would be, what a wife would be. You had an idea of what sex would be like. You had an idea of how the money would be handled. You had an idea of how your husband would respond to your pain. You had an idea of how she would respond to your needs, right? But when you get married and your idea doesn't fit your reality, what you gonna do? You can stay married to your idea, but you're gonna suffer and eventually divorce or become roommates. You gotta divorce the idea so that you can even see your reality. Some folk can't even see their spouse because they're too focused on what they want, what they've always wanted, what they've always desired, what they think they need. Is it possible? Is it possible that God has placed inside of your partner a treasure that he wants you to dig and find and pull out while you are looking for signs that, hey, this is my idea? They're not. It's not possible for them to be. It's not possible for the person you married to be the person that you dreamed up in your mind, because the spouse that you had in your mind, you created it before you ever met them, and you did not create it with them in mind. Okay? All right. Hope this was helpful for you. You guys join me next time for part 3, and we shall continue. Y'all take care.